Hello, my chicklets. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to day 19 of AU August. This one is the ever-elusive Mermaid AU. I'm very excited about this one, so I'm not going to do any kind of preamble. Let's just jump into Caught. Humans were terrifyingly callous creatures that cared only for their own safety. At least, that's what Remy had always been taught. But he didn't like to just believe things he was told. He preferred to experience things. That way, when he had an opinion, it was actually from his own experience. Traditional knowledge was so boring. It ignored that the world grew and changed. Remy hated the older generation. They were so afraid to explore. Not that he would ever admit out loud to enjoying something. Instead, he pretended it was spite. When he learned that they could use the heat vents with certain plants from the seafloor to make a drink which gave Mers more energy, his brother had been so pissed that he even went near the vents. Both of them had learned growing up that the vents were dangerous. Apparently hot steam coming out from the ground was nothing but trouble. Still, Remy had wanted to prove people wrong. He went about trying to figure out a way to make the vents useful. And he had. Proving that one piece of traditional knowledge was bullshit pushed him to investigate the other things he had been taught. His brother's disapproving face pushing him on. Apparently, not all traditional knowledge was bullshit though. And if Remy ever escaped the net he was caught in, he would never hear the end of it from Virgil. Remy flexed his tail, hoping to get some traction and untangle himself, but all it managed to do was force the barbed spines on the net to dig deeper into his scales. He didn't want to admit how completely screwed he was. The net was wrapped completely around him. Even breathing in through his gills hurt. "I am totally screwed," he muttered, the fear having subsided after a few hours of sitting in his own pain. He was honestly getting a bit bored and was just hoping someone might come by to cut him out. Neptune, even a shark would be better than sitting here bored. He was resigning himself to his fate, closing his eyes, when the net jerked up towards the surface, fresh blood mixing in with the water. The fear returned in an instant, and Remy began jerking around in the net. He needed to escape. He'd be damned if he let the humans get their hands on him. The net was proof of how cruel they could be when they weren't even around. He didn't want to see what happened when they actually got their hands on him. So despite the pain it caused, Remy continued to thrash, trying to find any escape. "You know, I love the smell of blood, but if you keep thrashing, I can't cut you down," a voice called from next to Remy, and he almost regretted looking. There was another mer, all sharp lines and teeth, probably a shark of some kind, but his vision was getting blurry. In that moment, he had to decide if he would rather be eaten by a shark or taken apart by the humans. He didn't have much of a choice, though, as the adrenaline began to fade and the blood loss took over. He curled in on himself, the barbs in the net tearing more of his already abused skin, and his eyes glazed over as unconsciousness took him. He wouldn't admit it. He wouldn't admit that Virgil had been right. God, he hoped he got to see his brother again. Remy was not prepared to feel the world slowly come back into focus. He had honestly been expecting to never wake up again. His mind was hazily trying to figure everything out, the pain still rippling through his body. He let out a rather pathetic whimper that he really hoped no one could hear. "Oh, the ass is awake." "I'm a black bass." "Isn't that what I said?" The voice was the same as before, the shark mer who had cut him out of the net. Good to know the sharks weren't quite as vicious as their counterparts. "Well, this is the most amazing rager I've been to in a while, but my bed at home is calling me." Remy went to push himself up, but all of his nerves screamed in pain, his body collapsing under him. "Tisk, tisk," the other man said. "You aren't going anywhere. I mean, you are welcome to try. That was entertaining as shit, but I doubt you'll make it very far." "Fuck you." "I mean, you can when you're better." Remy refused to blush at that. Not that he really could with the blood loss. "How long was I out?" Just 2 days. Don't worry, I didn't do much to you while you were gone." 2 days? Fuck. Remy forced himself up. Virgil is going to kill me. His body dropped in the water, barely even able to float. I mean, he can't kill you if you pretend to be dead. I can't do that to him. He's a boring reed in the kelp, but he's my brother. Oh, well, that changes things. The other man swam up to him, scooping an arm around him to hold him up. I'm a sucker for healthy sibling relationships. Remy looked at him confused. Wrap your arm around my neck, though try not to choke me too hard. I like to save that for date 3. You are just one swimming innuendo, aren't you? It's only innuendo if you don't follow through. That's not... No. That was not what innuendo meant, but Remy didn't want to fight it. I'm Remy, by the way. Remus! Hey, you live in the Mer Village, right? You look like a city dweller. What's that supposed to mean? Remus shrugged and just kept swimming. All soft around the gills. My brother is like that too, though he would never make his way out this far and get caught in the net. Congrats, by the way. Is your brother also a shark? He didn't know that there were any shark mer living in the capital city. Nah, I was cursed, so he gets to live a normal life and I get to play in the forbidden areas. It kind of works out for me. Remy fell quiet for a bit, holding just a little tighter to Remus. Don't you miss your brother? I mean, mine is annoying as hell, but I might maybe miss him if we were separated for a long time. Oh yeah, I miss him loads, but we still get together a little bit now and then. He's trying to find someone clever enough to break my curse, but I'm having fun. It might be nice to be able to see him more often, though. Remus swam them towards the city wall, heading away from the main gate. We're gonna have to sneak in, but I'll take you to someone who can get you home safely. Your brother? Yeah, he's such a guppy, though. Remus laughed as he found a broken area of the wall. All right, let's go. I'm going to have to hold you a bit closer to get through this. Are you just attempting to get me to cuddle up to you? Remus laughed again. You are feisty. I like you. The two of them repositioned themselves, swimming through the hole. All right, we are almost there. Where are we even going? His body ached and he was ready to fall asleep again. It looks like we're near the castle. Yeah, about that. Remy looked closer at Remus, really taking in his features. There was no way he could have known. There might have been a slight resemblance, but Prince Roman had always been soft, carefully sculpted features and something that just looked inherently civilized. Remus was the opposite. Everything from his smile to his tail looked wild. Now that he had been told, he could kind of see it, but it was still hard to tell. Well, I'm too tired to process that. I didn't even know the prince had a brother. I mean, I don't mind if you spread the rumor, but my brother wouldn't be too happy about it. Remus followed a path he knew all too well, making their way to a door that he knocked on with confidence. I'll keep that in mind. Remy was reeling, but he needed to focus on getting back to his brother before dealing with the consequences of being saved by the exiled prince. Remus, you know... Okay, so Remus wasn't lying. The prince knew him. That was just... wow. What happened? This little guppy got caught in one of the nets. Did my best to patch him up, but apparently his brother is probably all kinds of worried. Wait, aren't you the fish who came up with the morning kelp? That's me, bitch. Remy quickly covered his mouth, realizing he probably shouldn't say that to the prince. Remus's laugh once again met his ears. Ro, I think I'm in love. Mind getting him home safe for me? He asked. Yeah, I'll figure out a way to get him home. Just, if they're putting nets out, be careful. Aw, you care! You can't prove that. Remus headed back out the way he came from, and Remy began closing his eyes. My brother's name is Virgil. We live in the 17th spire, and I'm gonna pass out again. Letting out a slow breath. What? Remy didn't respond. He was too tired, though honestly, he just didn't want to be awake when Virgil found him. Thank you all for listening. Again, that was Caught. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.